So you're one of the smart ones. You're an investor, a pioneer out there on the digital frontier. You've seen the future of finance, and you're building wealth in a completely new way. But there's this one giant blind spot that almost everyone has, and it could mean the difference between leaving a lasting legacy and leaving behind a lost fortune. I mean, let's be real. This isn't some niche hobby anymore. Get this, a staggering 1 out of every 10 people now owns crypto. We're talking about a whole new class of digital treasure here. Everything from Bitcoin to NFTs, and it's totally changing how we think about wealth. And that brings us to the big, flashing, all-important question. It's the one most of us just forget to ask. But not having an answer? Well, the consequences for your loved ones can be absolutely devastating. Your digital fortune could literally just vanish. Okay, so let's think about your crypto portfolio like a modern-day treasure chest, right? It's locked up tight, it's super secure, and it's incredibly valuable. But here's the twist. Unlike the old pirate stories, this treasure needs a very specific, very modern kind of map and key if you ever want to pass it on. And this is where things get really, really different from, say, a normal bank account. If you pass away without a plan, there's no fail-safe. There's no bank manager to call, no institution your family can show a death certificate to. Nobody. The very thing that makes crypto so powerful, its decentralization, is exactly what makes it so vulnerable when you're gone. So how exactly does a digital treasure chest just disappear into thin air? Well, it happens when brand new technology smashes head-on into old-school rules. Our traditional estate processes, they just weren't built for decentralized assets, and frankly, the results can be a total disaster. The first major hurdle is this old legal process called probate. It's basically how a court settles your estate. For most things, it's just a long, expensive headache. But for crypto, it's a perfect storm of problems that puts all your assets at risk and on public display. Just imagine this for a second. The moment your estate goes into probate, your crypto is frozen solid. Your family can't touch it. Now fast forward 6 months. The market is going wild, but no one can manage the account, so the value could be tanking. A year or more later, your loved ones might still be locked out, and that fortune you built could be completely wiped out before they ever see a dime. And you might think, oh, that's just a rare problem. But look at this. The data is shocking. A whopping 2/3 of adults don't even have a basic will. That means the vast, vast majority of people holding crypto are leaving their digital legacy totally unprotected. The issue isn't just the slow legal system. It's actually baked right into the DNA of crypto itself. That amazing feature that makes it so powerful, its total independence from any central control, well, that becomes its biggest weakness if you don't have a plan. Think about it like this. Your family can walk into a bank with some legal papers and get access to your account. Simple enough. But with a crypto wallet, if they don't have your private keys, those assets are gone. And I don't mean locked away or hard to get. I mean poof. Vanished forever into the digital ether. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't some fringe issue only for people with hardware wallets. Even the huge exchanges like Coinbase say it right there in black and white. You can't just name a beneficiary like you would on your 401k. The system just isn't built that way. Oh, and as if that wasn't enough, let's throw the IRS into the mix, shall we? To them, your crypto isn't money, it's property. That means it's subject to capital gains taxes and a whole different set of inheritance rules than cash. That can create some nasty tax bombs for your heirs if you're not careful. All right, that was a lot of doom and gloom, I know. But the good news is there's a clear solution. And it's not nearly as complicated as you might think. A modern estate plan for your digital treasure is really just a simple 2-part strategy. Think of it as creating a legal map and a practical key. So part 1, the map. This is your secret weapon, and it's called a living trust. Honestly, for digital assets, this isn't just a good idea. It's the single best way to make sure your crypto is protected and passed on exactly how you want. So what the heck is a living trust? Well, think of it like a special legal box that you create and control. You transfer the ownership of your crypto accounts into this box. You still manage everything, but now there are crystal clear, legally binding instructions for what happens when you're gone, which lets your assets completely sidestep that whole probate nightmare we talked about. So what does this legal map actually do for you? Well, first, it avoids all the cost, delay, and market risk of probate. Second, it keeps your financial business private, not splashed all over public court records. Third, it creates a clear path so your assets don't get lost. And finally, it gives you total control to set the rules. Okay, so you've got the legal map. Now you need the practical key, the actual instructions your family can follow. It's a simple four-step plan. 1. Make a list of every single asset you own. 2. Write down all the critical info, keys, phrases, logins. 3. Pick a digital trustee, someone you trust who actually gets this tech stuff. And 4, and I cannot stress this enough, store these instructions securely offline, where no hacker can ever touch them. Seriously, let's zoom in on this because it's so important. Never, ever put your private keys in your will. It becomes a public document after you die. And for heaven's sake, don't store them in the cloud. Use a physical piece of paper. Or if you want to go full pro level, consider engraving your recovery phrase on a little metal plate. That way it's safe from fire, water, you name it. All right, let's put a bow on all of this. Protecting the digital wealth you've worked so hard to build isn't some complicated mystery. It just requires a modern approach. So here it is, your final checklist for peace of mind. Here's your action plan, plain and simple. First, create that living trust. Second, officially move your accounts into the trust's name. Third, create that super detailed access document. Fourth, choose your tech-savvy trustee. Fifth, lock that plan away safely offline. And last but not least, set a reminder on your phone to review and update this whole thing every few years. Look, at the end of the day, it all boils down to this one question. You were smart enough and forward-thinking enough to invest in the future of finance. Now you just have to take these simple, proactive steps to make sure that future you've built is actually secure for the people who matter most.